Hey, welcome back to another episode on our new series, Pro Tips to Live a Dynamic Lifestyle. If you're new to this show, you definitely want to stay for this because we're dropping them every single day and we're giving you guys tips from literally experts and legit pro tips on how to live a dynamic lifestyle, especially in this pandemic and new circumstances and landscape that we're facing. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe below. Other than that, get ready for this next one.
All right, James Krieger, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
You're very welcome. No, thanks for coming on this series on the pro tips on how to live a dynamic lifestyle through like the pandemic and everything that's going on right now. So, James, I want to ask you just how are you doing personally, and more importantly, like what are some tips that you can give to the listeners that might be going through a really tough time with this, and more importantly, how can they reinvent themselves during this time?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, me personally, it's been challenging, but we're managing. I already work from home, like all my business is online, so it hasn't really, changed what I'm doing that much. But now my wife is working from home all day, and now both kids are home. So the challenge is trying to do your work when and all that stuff. Even like my wife will have corporate meetings and stuff, and so when she has meetings, I got to try to keep the kids quiet and or like if I have a now interview with you guys or whatever, then I got to arrange with her because I got to make sure she doesn't have anything going on. So it's it's kind of tricky at times, but we're managing so far. So I can't complain that, given that my wife is able to work from home and I'm able to, so we are lucky in that sense. Some people aren't able to do that. So, but yeah, it's, definitely challenging times for a lot of people. And I know in the fitness realm it is too, because, gyms are closed, your life is just kind of, just radically changed, it's happened to some of my, my coaching clients and obviously myself and things like that. So, it's, but at the same time, I think you can use this as an opportunity in a number of different ways. I think one way is that given that, most restaurants are closed, other than like for takeout and things like that, I think it's an opportunity for people who maybe have struggled with eating out too much or something like that. It's an opportunity for them to actually cook from home or really,
great point.
Make their own, learn to make their own foods more from home. So I think, that can be actually kind of a blessing in a sense. You can take advantage of that. I do know it can really mess up people's exercise routines, especially if you like a gym, you got a gym you really like to go to, and that can be challenging. I know, some people have ordered exercise equipment and stuff, and that can help, and the thing I want to say is, something is better than nothing. So even if you can't weight train, if you can just do some push-ups, even just going out for walks, bike rides, I think it's really important with a situation like this, not to take an all or nothing mentality.
Yeah.
Like I said, something is better than nothing. And so, even if you're not able to do the routine that you want to do, you can still get benefit from doing something. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, is there something like that's kind of like completely changed, like for you with this whole pandemic, to where you're just like, man, like I missed this, or I took it for granted, or anything like that?
It's kind of interesting for me because I've always worked from home. So it's like, it hasn't really, other than being able to just go to the gym now, which obviously I guess I did take for granted. Things like obviously suddenly, I'm a big metalhead. I like going to metal concerts, and suddenly I can't go to any metal concerts anymore. All the sports I like to watching, I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, University of Washington Huskies. Obviously they may not even, who knows, they may not even have a season. I don't know what'll happen. That's still a ways away, but, so I guess, some of those things that you don't even think would ever go away, like suddenly aren't there, you know? So it's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously it's not a permanent thing, but it's still kind of interesting, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy for sure. You know, and then I just want to say, side note, that we're 49er fans, so so we're missing our Niners too, man.
Yeah,
No.
it was actually kind of cool to see the Seahawk 49er rivalry kind of be reborn this past year, because it, because back 2012, 2013, I mean, it was a huge rivalry. Like, you guys were like our number one enemies back then, and then it kind of, like, I don't know, like, you guys kind of dropped off for a while, but now with you guys back, it's like a huge rivalry.
Yeah, so it's a really good rivalry. I mean, I want to go back to the question too, just like, what are your predictions, like, just like with the gyms, like when they open back up, like, do you see maybe like big box gyms like getting hit the most, just because, I mean, do you think they're going to allow 50 to 100 people like in the gym like again, or?
Yeah, I don't know. My guess is that, and I'm sure it's going to vary by state, how it's going to happen. My guess, and I think the smart thing to do, is obviously when you try to go back to normal, you can't just do it all at once. You can't just suddenly open all the restaurants and all the gyms and everything all at once. That's just asking for trouble. So obviously there's going to be some type of slow rollout. My guess is when they do start to reopen gyms, they'll probably have to maybe limit the number of people that go in at any one time. That would be my guess is on how they would do it. And perhaps they would still, maybe the gyms would require you to wear masks or something. I don't know. That's my guess is how I would envision it happen. I mean, if I was like a policymaker, and I was listening to, I'm a guy who listens to the advice of the experts, and what the experts are telling me, obviously I'd listen to what they tell me, but my guess is that's probably what experts would probably say. I mean, I can't say for sure, but
Yeah, definitely. And that's why we're really advocating, like, our Fit Pro students to really think about transitioning into, independent, gyms, from the big box scene, just because of, I think that's what's going to happen, and I think it's going to be the rise of like the smaller independent boutique gyms,
Yeah.
Are you a fitness professional looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence? If so, we actually just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can be on your way to doing all those things, and you can sit there and build your hybrid training model. So if you're interested in getting your copy, make sure to click the book or the link right here, and you guys can grab it. Other than that, make sure to enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah. So let's shift gears here. Let's say hypothetically, James, that your business got completely wiped out by this pandemic and you had to start from like ground zero. And my hope with this question is to give the listener hope and confidence if this did happen to them. So what would you do, just knowing now all the skills that you have and the experience? How would you build it back up?
Well, I think if that were to happen to me, I would definitely rely on online. I would probably, if anything, if I could, for someone who trains people in person, if you can move to a totally online model, or at least start off that way, I think that would be really helpful, because like I said, I've lost some of my online coaching clients right now, just rather they're more just kind of on pause. But I still have some of my online clients. And so, in a situation like this, you can still work with people online, especially at least with the nutrition aspect, so again, I think it's a matter of, again, not having that all or nothing mentality, trying to shift gears, thinking, okay, well, obviously I can't train people in person right now, but what can I do? And starting from there, I think. So.
Yeah. And something I really like that you have, man, is like your Weightology members area, your subscription model, very, very low, like barrier to entry, and just reoccurring every single month. So I think that's super smart that you did that, years ago to set yourself up now.
Yeah. And I think that's something other people can do too. If there's some type of service that you can do, and especially like a really low cost monthly subscription fee, because then it becomes scalable, because scalability is important too. Like a subscription model helps because you just do the same amount of work every month, and no matter how many people you have, it's the same amount of work. It's not like your work grows with the number of people, so I like the scalability of subscription models, and that's something someone can, someone, let's say you're a trainer and maybe maybe you start some type of online group fitness community or something, you know. I mean, there could be a lot of different ideas, but I think that's something that somebody could do.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. So James, kind of just to wrap up this interview. So I've been asking, you know, all the guests this one question, just like, what do you think the big learning lesson is behind, you know, this whole COVID pandemic? Like if it's like from the universe, it's for humanity, society. I just want to know your thoughts on this.
Man, I have so many different thoughts. Number one, I think it's a revelation that why it's important to listen to scientists and experts. I think we as a society I don't know what it is, whether it's anti-intellectualism or, you know, there seems to have been, especially in the past number of years, a big anti-science streak, I would say. And I think this is a kind of a wake-up call. No, you got to listen to the scientists because they know what they're talking about, you know. And you know, so I would say that. I think another thing that I think more from a business perspective for people is I think it shows the importance of the more revenue streams you can set up for yourself, the better off you'll be when situations like this happen.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because if one source of revenue suffers, you may at least have some other sources to fall back on, you know. Yeah. So now I know not everyone has the luxury to set up multiple revenue streams, but if you can do it, or if you have ideas of how to do it, you can really put yourself in, you can be in a better situation to handle something like this. So, absolutely. And actually that'd be actually even right now, again, a lot of trainers out there probably have a lot of downtime right now. Try to figure out ways to set up other revenue streams right now while you have the time. And that way, when your training comes back, you'll actually be even in a much better spot, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now is the time, man, just really work on skills, you know, especially for a fitness professional that doesn't know how to do maybe copywriting, doesn't know marketing, doesn't know sales. So they can apply those things to other things to create revenue streams. So I agree 100% with that. So James, this was great, man. Thank you so much for this. What can we support you on right now? You know, us or the listeners, and where can we connect with you?
Yeah, well, you know, there's my website, weightology.net. And I have all kinds of free content in there, free articles, especially some of my recent content that used to be just for my research review subscribers, like my volume Bible and frequency Bible. Those have been really popular lately. But as you mentioned, I do have a research review that I cover, you know, 8 studies per month that relate to building muscle or losing fat. And so, so there's that. Also have a new project coming out. And actually we already have the landing page set up. It's called Fit Pro Financial. And it's actually very relevant to what's going on right now. So I'm working with Chad Landers on that.
Nice.
And basically we're going to be offering education to fitness professionals on how to improve their financial condition, everywhere from managing debt all the way to like planning for retirement and investing and things like that. That's stuff that a lot of trainers just don't know a thing about. And that's why Chad and I recognized there was a definite need for something like that in that area. So if you go to fitprofinancial.com, you can actually just sign up for our emailing list, and you'll then get updates for when everything kind of launches and stuff. So
awesome.
So I got that project as well.
Very cool. Yeah, we'll definitely have all that linked up in the show notes because I think that's going to be very crucial for fitness professionals going forward with that. So that's great that you guys are doing that. So James, thanks again, man, for this. Just your honesty, your authenticity, just, you know, everything that you're dealing with, and hopefully you guys stay safe, healthy, and well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video and another episode on pro tips on living a dynamic lifestyle. We truly appreciate it. Hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you're interested in getting more value like this from these pro tips, make sure to subscribe above. We're going to be dropping these daily. Also, if you are a fitness professional and you're looking to create more income, impact, influence, and independence, we just dropped our new book, Rise of the Fit Pros, so you guys can do all of that. You can also start building your hybrid training model with in-person and online training. So make sure to click the link or the book right here to grab your guys' copy, and we'll send it over to you. Other than that, we're out. Talk to you soon.